If you're just joining us, I'm hoping you've had a chance to watch this video on resurrection plants and answer these questions. And so if not, go ahead and pause this and back up in your Canvas site to this video on deep look plants, and then join us again when you have watched that. So the thing that I really want you to focus on are the idea that mosses are different from grasses because the mosses lack the vascular tissue. So if you missed that question, go back and re-watch it where it talks about those little straws that grasses have. Moving on to the ferns. The ferns are, again, vascular plants. There's lots of different kinds of ferns, and I thought you might enjoy watching a time-lapse photography of ferns. So that will be the next video on your Canvas site. It's just a few minutes long, but it gives you a nice perspective of how ferns grow. And anytime I watch time-lapse photography, it really gives me an appreciation for the fact that plants are very much alive, and they move and they respond to sunlight, and they have a lot of ways to communicate with each other that we have just been starting to figure out. A lot of those ways are chemical, although it looks like they're communicating with each other when you see them kind of synchronized in their growth or in their brief movements. So enjoy that video and jot down any thoughts you have. And so then this is the life cycle of a fern, where we have the eggs that are stored in the female gametangium that looks a little like a vase here, the sperm that are stored in a little sac, and hopefully the sperm from a different gametophyte will fertilize the egg, make a zygote. The zygote will grow into a new adult fern, and that adult fern is what you've been more familiar with seeing in gardens. And I hope you had a chance to find a fern in your neighborhood, but if not, you can always look for an image online, but then you have to draw it. Now in the fall, it's more often to see these on the back side of a fern leaf, to see these brown fuzzy or black fuzzy spots, and those are called sori, and the sori produce spores. Sori produce spores. And those spores are basically just little tiny structures, little tiny cells that then land and grow into the gametophyte, and the whole cycle starts over again. So we're going to stop here before we go on to the oh, actually, no, I think we'll keep going one more time, a little bit more. Then we talk about the seed plants. These originated about 400 million years ago. And some of those seed plants are what we call the conifers. And this is really the only group we're going to spend much time with in this class. The conifers are gymnosperms, which is a type of seed plant. And they have seeds, but no flowers or fruits. So even though this looks like a fruit and this looks like a flower, this is not a fruit. It is a seed. That is fleshy. This is from a ginkgo. Gwen, can you close the door, please? And these are actually sort of cone-like structure, female cone structures. But we've already talked about female and male cones in the conifers, and so we'll focus really mainly on that. But this is a smattering of gymnosperms, and the next slide has the video that I want you to look at next. So this is a deep look video that's put on by the public broadcasting system, and it's going to ask you some questions, or you're going to answer some questions you've already learned before about female and male male cones in a gymnosperm. But look closely for this image of how pollen gets spread. It's a cool thing to see. And then pay attention to the 3 distinct times in a female cone's life and how each of those is so important for the development of a new baby diploid conifer plant. We'll see you again after you've watched that video.